ಕೆಲವರು ಮಿಸ್ಸಿಂಗು ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಮಿಸ್ಸಿಂಗು ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಮಿಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್. This is make my trip, correct? Make my trip.
So you have an option of hiding that code. You can just do it in a board. More may click ಮಾಡಿ hide floor plan ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
Thanks. Thanks. ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತುಂಬ ದಿವಸ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಬರೀ ಮ್ಯಾಕು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ 4 ವರ್ಷ ಬರೀ ಮ್ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ this is the login. We all know that this is the login. Yesterday we discussed. Probably if someone is new, yesterday you came. No, correct. New student. Today joined. Not late. Okay, so this is the login. You have something called as Google. When I click on Google, it will give me up the sign-in page of Google account. Okay, so this particular Google account is nothing but, do you see somewhere here it is make my trip in the what is this URL? Correct. Last they make my trip. Okay, I'll show you one more example. Amazon.com. Sign in here, create your account or enter the username and password. Correct? Create your oh, I have changed it. Okay, if I type let me type my okay na. So this becomes your Gmail. It is not something which is different than your Amazon. The same username and password will be taken. So this becomes your Gmail username, which in turn it is going and giving the checking the database of the Gmail account. So this becomes a Gmail API. How do you ensure? Go to inspect. Right? Here you see on the network tab. Okay, on the network tab you see so many things over here. Correct? What is this logo? Logo of what? Amazon. ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we'll check on the go to the network tab. Here, what are this? If you refresh this, you will find so many things which are getting loaded over here. Correct? Ili make my trip / flights. Okay, this itself is what? Request URL. So something you know that there is some technology called as URL, request URL. Ili request method, ili status code. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಕಿ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ own policy ಅದು. Okay, now say for example I want to book a flight. I'll show you something different. I want to book a flight. Yeah, flight to Delhi to Mumbai. Okay, that's fine. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Now, what details I will get? I will get the details of the flight, ಆಯ್ತಾ? From where to where of different airlines company, different airlines company. Correct? Am I audible? Reaching till the end? Okay. Now I have Indigo. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Is Indigo owned by Make My Trip? No. Air Asia or Akasa Air owned by Make My Trip? No. SpiceJet owned by Make My Trip? No. ಆಯ್ತಾ? I will go to SpiceJet. Okay. SpiceJet. This is specified web page of SpiceJet. Correct. Now, if I select the same destination and the origin, New Delhi to Mumbai, correct? Mumbai, oh, okay, on 28th of search for the flights. No, let's compare both of them. What is the rate over here? 6246. Illi? I don't know, the 7:35 flight, 17:35. ಅದು ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಶಬಾಷ್. ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ? ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ? ಮುಂಬೈ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಮಾಡಿಫೈ ದ ಸರ್ಚ್. ಹಾಂ, 6246. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿದೆ? 6246. Do you feel a difference? No. But when you apply some coupons which are specified by the SpiceJet, then your rate will get reduced. If you specify some of the coupons of the Make My Trip, the price will go down. The same API, the same details is fetched from Make My Trip to the SpiceJet website or the database. Okay, two different systems, it is communication. So when it is communicating with the two different systems, that is an API call. Okay, now the best example here, why did I open up that particular part, is to make you understand how the request goes. You've gone through that particular command where, or the word, it is called as request URL. Correct? Request URL. So I will make this, name this as a client. Okay. What is this? This is SpiceJet. Server. The person or the website or the origin from where it is going to fetch from the database, or it is going to ask the details to the SpiceJet, is called as client. This might be Make My Trip, this might be SpiceJet, this might be Abibo, Go Abibo, Agoda, something XYZ. Okay, this becomes your client. So what does the client do? It will ask for the details. It will ask for the details from the database. Correct? So when it is asking, this particular thing is called as request. So far clear? Yes. The data, how it requests, what is the internal functionality of it, how does it convert, what does it convert, what details it will ask, those things we'll look into it later. Just understand that this particular client is asking for the flight details from New Delhi to Mumbai on 28th December 2023 with the username, with the username of whatever you have logged into the client. I'll go very, very slow. Okay. So this becomes the request. It will use this particular data. It will search in this particular database, which is called as a server. Right? Client is what? Your laptop or your mobile? Correct? Laptop, mobile, desktop, even desktop also. Everywhere you can access it.
Yeah.
Everywhere you can access it. Correct. So if you have 1 TB of 1 TB, then this is of 1 TB. So this is 1 TB, 4 GB RAM, 4 GB ROM, whatever it may be. Correct? ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಾನೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು. NVIDIA graphics card of 4 GB, ಆಯ್ತಾ? 16 core processor. Correct? Is there anything else specified in your system? 12 inches or 14 inches monitor, or it may be also around Dell or HP or XYZ. This is again a system, right? Or a computer, right? It might be a laptop, mobile, or a desktop. That becomes the client. The server is no different from the same configuration, but with a higher level. If this is 1 TB, because it has to store the data, so in order to store the data, it might be 1000 TB. I'm explaining what is a client, what is a server. Understood? It might be around 46 GB RAM. Just XYZ number, okay? But with a higher configuration. So server is nothing but your same laptop, but with the higher configuration, which stores data. The one which stores the data becomes the server. For this server, you will not be able to access it directly as your system, because it needs some authentication or access providers. You have public, private in your Java. If you make it private, will you be able to access it? Yes, sir, but with some conditions, right? The way you access data will be something different. This is a public one. Everyone can access, even you can access your laptop, your phone, or something like that, right? So this becomes your client. Client stores the data? No, it will just ask for the data, it will retrieve the data, and it will show the data. Okay? The data which comes back from the server is called as response. What it will give me? It will give me the rate 6426. Correct? Time, other details. It will even give you the logo of SpiceJet. It will even give you the seat selection. Correct? Easy? So far easy? What did you ask? New Delhi to Mumbai, 28th December, with the username for that particular flight details you asked. It will go and search for that particular details. It will go and fetch, and it will give the response. Along with this, you will get status, clear, and XYZ, plus, many details. We'll look into those details. But understand, client is the one who will ask for the data. That data is called as, that asking is called as request. The server, no matter, it is a same system, but with a higher configuration than the client, which stores the data. It will fetch the data from its database. It will give you the data back to the client, which is called as response. Easy?
Yes, sir.
So far easy? Now again, I told you, how does the request happen? In what format? Okay, that will be in the format of XML or JSON. Since we are not dealing with financial databases or financial institutions, it is always in JSON. Clear so far? Clear? Now JSON, we will look into the format, how it is written, the syntax of the JSON, how it is stored, all those things. So far clear?
Yes, sir.
Now this JSON is received by the server, converted into, in the process of the request, this is converted into POJO classes. JSON will not be directly read by the server. Simple example, you type A on your system. What it will happen? It will get converted into binary codes. Correct? You have you heard about ASCII values?
Yes.
Correct? 63 no 93 ಏನೋ ಒಂದು. I don't know. 60? Fine. For A it is 65 and it goes on. 66 till Z. Correct? So it will receive the 65. It will understand that yes, this is 65. Then it will give back the relevant formation of the A and it will be displayed on your system. Similarly, the same way, the JSON request, whatever you are sending, will be converted into POJO classes. POJO means plain, old Java object. POJO. Like I'll give you notes. Wait, understand. ನೀವು ಅರ್ಧಂಬರ್ಧ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಬರೀ POJO ಅಂದ್ರೆ plain object. No, don't write it. I'll give you notes. Okay, I'll give you question and answer for it. Okay, but understand the concept. Now it converted into plain old Java object. In the Java classes, you might have learned everything is an object. Correct? Everything is an object. It is accessed through the object itself. Object has two states. One is behavior and properties. Something like that. A dog's behavior is what? To wag its tail, to bark, all those things. Correct? A dog is an animal. So animal becomes an object. Animal becomes an object. In that object, dog is a part. Correct? When you ask for dog, it will not give you cat. It will give you dog itself. But everything is converted into an object. That object is stored in the database. If this does not happen, the server will not understand what you have requested. Right? The process of changing or conversion of the JSON to the POJO classes is called marshalling. In the interview, no one knows what it is. Trust me. Right? Even experienced guys who takes the interview do not know what is marshalling. They will not ask you questions. But how to impress an interviewer? To explain this process, tell that this is marshalling. Okay? Because you know the depth of the knowledge, so reduce it. It's okay. Correct? The process of conversion of JSON to POJO is called as marshalling. Now it understands the POJO classes. The database understands the POJO classes. It will give you back in the format of JSON. Obviously, it will not give you in the form of POJO because this client will not understand it. Correct? This is nothing but your bytecode or binary code. Okay? The process of conversion of POJO to JSON is called boxing, unboxing. Simple. No difference. but just a different name given to it. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ BMTC ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಬಸ್ ಅಂತಾನು ಅನ್ಬೇಕು, VRL ಅಂತಾನು ಅನ್ಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? It's the same seat, same journey, many buses will go but with a different name. Correct? Government bus, private bus. Similarly, boxing, unboxing, marshalling, unmarshalling. Very simple two terms. JSON to POJO, marshalling. POJO to JSON, unmarshalling. As simple as that. Clear? Okay. So once this unmarshalling happens, the response will also be in the format of JSON. What did you ask? Kebab. You get kebab. You will not get the lollipop or the entire hen. Correct? You have asked for something, you will get that itself. Understood? In this particular thing, the one which you got in the JSON will also contain these many things. Correct? Easy? Okay. How did you request with these details? So this request will go in the format of the name given to that big https://www.makemytrip.com/ then your username, then your New Delhi to Bombay, then that particular date, then that particular year. Based on that, that entire thing which is given over here. What is this? Are you able to see this? makemytrip.com/flight/search !itinerary Delhi to Bombay 28/12/2023 and a trip type pax type, all these things, language Indian, English, everything will be sent. You will not see the JSON. Okay, in the website you will not be able to. I want like google.com or make my trip. Yes, it should come. That's all you will be looking at. Correct? But internally this happens. Okay, see, do you see anywhere here the username? No. The password? No. Correct? What else you don't see? One adult, do you see here? Yes, A1, adult 1. Correct? All these details are sent. These details which it is sending, I'll give a name to it. The details which is sent along with that particular makemytrip.com/search ? is called as payload. If you watch movies related to war, Kargil, or the army related thing, when a soldier has a backpack on him, that's called payload. His rifle, bullets, or water can, or whatever it is, if he is empty, then he is empty. If he carries something, that is called as payload. In the flight, if it is empty, it's empty. The cargo ships, the same flight with a different space where you will be able to dump the luggage. That luggage is called payload. When you enter into an airport, your baggage size should be not more than 23 kgs, 35 kgs for certain countries. That's the payload. Correct? So when you request something, the details which goes inside it is called as payload. Easy, different, difficult? So this becomes a request payload. So three terminologies. One is JSON, POJO, conversion is called as marshalling, converting back is called as unmarshalling. The details which it sends is called as payload. Aita? Easy na? This is the basic of API. One API will contains an URL which has the details, which is called as payload. Client requests that particular details to the server. The one which is going from client to server is the request. Okay. On the way, it will convert everything into POJO classes. This JSON conversion into POJO classes is called marshalling. Now the server receives all the data, it will search for the data, it will prepare its own response, and it will send back. While sending back, still it is in the POJO. Correct? POJO, it has been converted into POJO, it is not yet converted into JSON. Now it is throwing back all the details. That details will be converted back to JSON on the way. That is called as unmarshalling. Easy? The one which the details, the one which comes from the server to the client is called as response. Payload is what it goes, right? That is that you don't call it as a payload. That is the details. Whatever you are giving is a payload.
From client to the server.
From client to the server, hashtag.
Okay.
You may call it as response details, response. You don't call it as a payload because it is not giving you the raw material. See, to prepare a kebab, you take chicken, you cut it into pieces. You put masala and all those things. Now, will you be able to separate masala after the kebab? No, right? It comes as a kebab. It is called as kebab, that's all. Understood? Now, can you get chicken out of kebab? No. It's all prepared. If it is prepared, then gone case. Correct? Huh? But this is called as the response. The one which comes in the response, it can be a body, which has the details of the flight, logo, along with the status, along with etc. 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 We will look into it. Understood? Okay. Here, while sending, I told you that we cannot access the server directly. Correct? I'm explaining everything in flow. We cannot access the server directly. So you have to send some username and password, authentications, authorizations. You cannot enter into a building without accessing your ID card. Correct? That ID card or access related things is called as authorization. Aita? How many types of authorizations are there? Questions will be asked for very sure in the interview. First one. Basic. Basic andre username, password. OAuth 1. OAuth 2. They may call it as authorization or authentication. Anything is fine. Okay. We will look into the basic. We will look into the OAuth 1. We will look into the OAuth 2. How to do it. Idan bittu, in spite of all these things, when you get into the practical sessions of it, you will learn more things about the OAuth, OAuth 1, OAuth 2 and the basic authentication, along with how do you send it, what kind of data you can send, how you will be able to receive it back. All those things will be taught in Postman application, practically. Clear? Clear? Now, there is one more small point here. I will give you notes for all these things. With another diagram. We'll make use of Make My Trip itself. We will put 10 blocks. We will understand it again for your notes purpose. But understand this. See, my classes will be like this. I'll teach you the entire concept first. I will rewind it by giving you notes by neat diagrams on the board with stage by stage. The first 15 minutes, whatever you listen, will be the entire day's class. Okay. The next part over here is, okay, this is done. We spoke about something called as URL. What is the full form of URL? Uniform Resource Locator. Correct? Huh? This is locator. I'll make it as I. Identifier. Correct? Huh? Identifier is equal to URL plus. Easy na? Payload in the sense the body, response body, andre username, password, New Delhi, Mumbai, all those things. This particular part contains URL contains with HTTPS. This is the protocol. What is a protocol? A set of guidelines. I'm not explaining what is HTTPS. Protocol. Set of guidelines. Now, what is the guidelines to follow our traffic? Red is stop. Green move. Innonda?
Yellow is like yellow or orange.
Orange is the.
Yellow or orange.
Yellow? Go slow. Not start then. Aita? Correct. Those are the set of guidelines. Everywhere in the universe it's the same. Whenever this entire world builds an API, develops an API, it should start with HTTPS. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. S is secure. Understood? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. S is secure. HOTTP. Yes. The guidelines is the URL must be with HTTPS, or if it is not a secured website, it becomes HTTP colon double slash. Wherever you go, this is any website you take, this is the protocol. Right? Then you get something called as www dot. Correct? If it is make my trip, you get make my name of the website. .com is the domain. .in, .com, whatever. Correct? Then it comes, it's all here. You will be able to see it here. This https colon double slash www.makemytrip.com. Aita? Slash flight slash search question mark. Other? Slash something XYZ slash ABC question mark. Okay? After the question mark, whatever is here is called as query parameters. I'll give you notes again. Wait. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? This query parameters along with blah 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 false obin plus e code slash damar dimar username password and all. This becomes your
Payload.
okay na URL plus payload URL. URL is https:// name dot domain name damar slash question mark until you receive question mark, until you see that question mark, that particular portion. After the question mark, it is all yours. Say for example, I can change it here itself. I don't have to select in the website. I'll just do this and do 29. I'll get it. Easy? Any doubt? See, did I get for 29th?
Yes, it's about Friday.
It changed here, 29th. Correct? Understood?
Yes.
Now, even the website is not working also. Did I do any changes on the web page? No. I directly went and changed that particular payload or query parameters and I will get a response. Easy? So before even you touch the web application for the automation or the manual, they test APIs. Understood why do they test APIs? If the API is working fine, if you are sending the right request and if you are getting the desired output or the response, the next stages of functional testing and the automation testing. See, automation testing, you will find button is not working. I'm unable to click that button. The result page is loading, not loading the relevant details. I don't know how many details I'll get on the web page. Correct. Those are all automation defects. But still, those are all functional, or even the web application is not working as expected, but something it's not loading during your scripting, that becomes your automation defects. Correct? If you are, then what they will do once you raise the defect or functional or particular automation defect, once you raise it, that the result page is not loading, they will go back and check this particular API, the development team. They will not sit and touch the application. They will not look into what I'm getting or what it is not displayed. No. They will do a fishbone analysis or they will debug it stage by stage. First, they will go and check, is your query parameter correct? Is your URL correct? Are you sending the HTTPS, whatever is required? Say for example here, if I give not 29, if I give 32, correct? Will it load? L next month.
January ಬಂದಿದೆ ಸರ್.
Invalid date. ಇಲ್ಲಿ select ಆಯ್ತು.
But
See, this is the difference. See, how do you test an API? By giving the query parameter values. Now, if I go and take a screenshot of this and say that your website is not loading for the valid date. See, this is a valid date.
correct.
It's okay, fine for me. I have to get the result. I'm not able to get it. I'll raise a defect. Okay. Now he will go and inspect this particular page. Aita, go to the network. Correct. You got all 200. Good, very good. Aita, I'll take the screenshot and say that I should be able to get the details. But they will go back and look into the URL. What kind of request was made by the user? ಸರ್ಚ್ ಡೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. Here you have it. Okay. Here you have it, right? 32/12/2023. Correct?
Yes.
Then the developer will scold you. You have given the invalid inputs. That is why you're not getting the result. So this becomes an API defect. The vice versa, like even if you're giving the right date and you are getting this invalid data, then it becomes an API defect. Even though my URL is correct, the details whatever I have sent is correct, the authentication is true, then also if I'm able to get this particular invalid date error page, then it becomes an, they will go and check the API. They will fix that API. They will not redeploy the application. They will not give you the entire build. They will only fix that portion of that particular API. Those APIs are independent of each and every other APIs. Understood? This is one piece of the cake. This cake is rotten. Or if you have a bag full of tomatoes, if one tomato is not good, you will only pick that tomato and throw it out. Correct? So each tomato is individual or independent of other tomatoes. Right? That kind of structure is called as microservices. Services, web service, API service, the name remains the same, but making each and every call independent is called as microservices. So API testing is nothing but microservices testing. Don't be surprised in the market if someone says it as a microservices. Have you worked on microservices, tested microservices? Yes. Understood? The way the development happens for the old traditional way was to give only one API call for the entire website, then do the changes inside it. But now how the development is happening, every search is a different API. Search is a different API, selection is a different API. Search is not related to selection. Okay, if there is something wrong in the search, they will only fix those search, so that it will reduce the effort, the time taken. There is no need of regression. Understood?
Yes.
Or what is regression testing? Again, something you change, you have to test the other things as well. So regression becomes easier. So they started developing using microservices, those microservices. It's as simple as that. Making every service independent of every other service. Clear? Easy. The URL does not change. Even if I change the date, did the URL get changed?
No.
Only the query parameters change. For the entire website, for the entire project or the application which you are working, the URL remains the same. Easy? Difficult? Anything which you didn't understand, I can explain it again. Take your time, revisualize it, understand the flow. If you did not get any one term, I will explain it again. There are other interesting factors in postman. Mast agide. Understood?
Yes.
Should I explain it again? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ, ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು? This is the basic. If you don't understand the basic, it's no use of going further. ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Authorization and authentication both are same or
Similar.
so there is no difference?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದೆ. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಗೂ ಎರಡೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೂ ತುಂಬಾ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ. ಯಶ್ಗುನು ದರ್ಶನ್ಗುನು ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? ಅವರಿಬ್ರು ಆಕ್ಟರ್, ಅವರಿಬ್ರು ಸೇಮಾ? ಹಂಗೆ ಅವರಿಬ್ರು ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಲಸ ಒಂದೇ, ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಬಟ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಡಿಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಥೆಂಟಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಸರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಅಥೆಂಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆಥರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈವನ್ ದೋ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂಟಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಸೀಕ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್. ಈಗ ಬೇಡ ಬಿಡು, ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಟೀಚ್ ಯು ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಅನದರ್ ವೇ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಗರ್ಲ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್, okay, then you are authorized that I have a girlfriend, but you are not allowed to enter her house until and unless marriage is done. That becomes authentication. You are authorized, okay, fine, you are committed, but you don't have right permissions. Say aito in a different way. Now you have phone pay in your system, correct? Until and unless you give the passcode or the thumbprint, you are not authenticized in order to access the phone pay. Even though it is your account, even though it is your mobile, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Access denied. If you give 10 times the wrong print, then it will get blocked. It is something like you have the rights but you don't have the permission. ಹಂಗೆ you are a human being, you can commit crime. ಆಯ್ತಾ? In order to protect a crime, police is there. You have the rights to shout, you have the rights of right to word, right to speech, everything constitution ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Are you permitted to do it? No. In a rally, are you permitted to do it? No. Something like that. Similar, ali ala magal ganda ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲಿಯಾನೆ ಮಗಳ ಗಂಡ. ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? I will give you in detail about that. Okay, write down the notes. Online, any doubt? Govinda, Govinda. No doubt? Give an example of web service. Question and answers ಕೊಡೋದು. Give an example of web service. Question mark. Okay. For this, I bariya. Yes.
Today only I can come, sir.
ಹಂಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು
I don't know, sir.
Course. It's okay. Okay. Now let's take an example of Make My Trip website. Adin bariri. Markolra. Bariro. Write down. Let's take an example of Make My Trip website. Open any browser and hit makemytrip.com. Write in your own words for the search flight.
open any browser.
And hit makemytrip.com. That is your first step, right? Okay. Open any browser and hit makemytrip.com. A website opens up to fill all the information to book a flight comma, choose the relevant origin and destination and date, and click on submit button. Hey, write in your own words, yeah. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಬರಿಬಾರ್ದು. See, that's the problem. What? Then what did you do on the make my trip? Book a flight from by selecting origin and you write it in your own words. Whatever you have done manually, I am giving you the steps. Ashte. Then I'll give you a diagram for it. And click on submit button. Correct. The data which is displayed will have information of the relevant search from various airlines. ಯಾವುದು? ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ನಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಂದು ಇವಾಗ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಲೈನ್ ಕಾಯ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತವ್ರೆ, ಬರ್ತವೆ. Write it in your own words. The data which is displayed in the search result will have relevant data from different companies. Correct? Air Asia, SpiceJet and all those things. ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಲಿ. ಅದನ್ನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೋವಿಂದ. Okay, write down this diagram first. ಆದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಫಿಶಿಯಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? Write down this diagram. ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ whatever is giving on the website, I'm just putting it into a block diagram. Okay, this is request. This is response. This is request. This is response. This is request. This is response. Understand this? Arrow mark is this way. You don't have two-sided arrow mark. Don't do that mistake. The arrow mark is this way. Okay, so just say that this is system 1. Okay, not all information are stored in one system. Dhirubhai Ambani is different, Tata is different. They are all one in the same house only. They are all brothers. Don't believe them. You have Jio 5G which is coming with 1 year OTT platform free. Network, there is no network at all. Okay, still they are giving offer. That is money minded. Okay, this is system 2, system 3, system 4. Easy. Jet Airways system is different. SpiceJet is different system. System 4 AirAsia is different system. Not everything is in the same laptop. There are different laptops. Simple. Clear? Idaita barkoli. Give an explanation to that particular diagram in your own words. Give an explanation. In your school, if you have learned to write a story based on the pictures, then this is the exercise. Write a story for it. Aiparya. Yen bariti adike. Yen nodana. Make my trip sends the request to the Jet Airways and response from the Jet Airways. You write your own. Okay, na? We will write something in detail now. Idanna we will take Jet Airways or SpiceJet, one system, and give you block by block what happens inside, what comes outside. Okay? Clear? This is a skeleton. We will look into each and every bones now. Okay, now? Shall I start? Idilli, right? What happens? Now make my trip
Sends the request.
sends the make my trip sends the request. Correct? Huh? What in the form of
JSON.
JSON or XML? Write it so. JSON or XML. Yeah. Right down. You should do it in a separate diagram, separate block, separate for you. Now it will go to
JSON next convert to POJO.
yeah, we will write it this as one first point. This is
Second one.
second. This is third. Now Jet Airways or AirAsia, what it will do?
Receives in the form of POJO.
Takes the request.
In the form of POJO.
Iru one nimisha. Takes the request. We will keep it as in the form of JSON. And that is website. Now down we will convert it into POJO. Okay? Okay, now. Third one, done. Illi POJO class conversion. Correct? Easy. POJO class conversion happens. What it will do? AirAsia searches the relevant data in the database. Correct? Aita? Easy. Any difficult? Not difficult.
So 1,000. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಈಗ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಸೇವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಫ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಪೈಸ್ ಜೆಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಸ್ಪೈಸ್ ಜೆಟ್.
ಸೊ ಸರ್ ಡಾಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್
This is a different system.
ಅದನ್ನು
This will change.
ಅದನ್ನ
This will change. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊತ್ತಂಬರಿ ಸೊಪ್ಪು ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊತ್ತಂಬರಿ ಸೊಪ್ಪು, ಪಾಲಕ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಲಕ್. As simple as that. You are the one who is requesting, right? You remain the same. The item which you get is different. If you go to Reliance Smart, you get different item. If you go to Opcoms, you will get different items. If you go to Nilgiris, you will get different items. Simple. Then what happens? Then what happens?
respond back by a JSON.
Now AirAsia sends the response, or I'll make it as the details back to MMT. This is just an example. It might be Make My Trip or Amazon. Search results will vary. It will go to your top brands. That result will be displayed. Easy. Now it will come back to Make My Trip. Like that. Now this particular portion, POJO converts to JSON. We will give a name to it. ಹಾಕ್ಸಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದಾ 750. ಅದು ಕಂಪ್ನಿದು ಹೋಂಡಾ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಂಡಾ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಶೋರೂಮು. ಯಾವ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು HRX ನಂಬರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದೌದು ಹೌದು. ಈಗ ನೀನ್ ಹೊಸ ಗಾಡಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿಂಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಗ, ನೀನು ಇವನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿಂದು? I20 ಹೋಂಡಾ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹೋಂಡಾ ಶೋರೂಮ್, ಎನಿ ಹೋಂಡಾ ಶೋರೂಮ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಎನಿ ಹೋಂಡಾ ಶೋರೂಮ್. ಸರಿ, okay, done. Aita, now that converts into JSON, correct? Now Make My Trip receives the data in the format of JSON or XML. Conversion from, usually it is JSON. 99.99999%. Now ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ we will generalize it as XML also while writing it. Now you got this? Clear? Now what it comes from here till here? It receives and displays it on the UI. Correct? In midway, if you want, we can add one more. Make My Trip front UI displays the data. Okay? In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is not rocket science, very simple. Bacha class iddange ide. But still you didn't know. Correct? A small basics lines, but still we didn't know. It's just an exploration. What happens in the back end when you click on enter button? Okay? Now, I'll give a name for this. This portion is called marshalling. This portion is called unmarshalling. Okay. This portion is called leave about query parameters. I'll give you notes on that later on. Okay. This is called payload. What format? JSON format. Very good. So, come on. Easy. So for each and every numbering, put 1, 2, 3, 4 and write two lines. Time.
ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಅದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು
ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್
ಅದೇ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ನೀವ್ ಹೆಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಹಿಂಗೂ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಸೆಲ್ಫಿನೂ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದ್ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರ 10 selfies, 20 photos. Yes, then I am satisfied. It's the same you in the front and the back. So for each and everything, put number 1 and write 2 sentences below. This is what happens. I write down the diagram, I say. Write down the diagram, I say. Barkonda. See, today you will remember. After 1 month also you will remember. After 10 months you will not remember. But if you look into this diagram by the numbering, you will understand what is happening. Picture abhi baki hai, bahut baki hai. Ye bus trailer hai. By the time of the end of the class, you will feel, why did this fellow make us to write all these things? It will get by hearted in that level. Okay, but write down. Today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. Write down. Number 1, write in your own words. Make a story out of it. If you make a story out of it, you will definitely remember things. Sir, good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very sir. ಹಾಂ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ವಿಶಾರದ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ವಿಶಾರದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವಿನಾಶ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಇಬ್ರು ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಅವರೇ. ಬಟ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ವೀಲಿ ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲಾಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಇರೋದಲ್ವಾ, ಅವಿನಾಶ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಈಗ ಸುಶ್ರುತ ಅದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ಮುಗೀತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಇವಳು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನದರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ರೌಂಡ್. ಬಫರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾ ಸರ್. ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ 12 o'clock to 1. ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹಾಫ್ ಅನ್ ಅವರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಳದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾಳೆನೇ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು 12:30 ತನಕ. ಇನ್ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೇಳೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ. ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಂ ಎಸ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ಅದೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 1-2 hours 4 o'clock ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಂಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿದೋಯ್ತದೆ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಎಸ್. ಓ, ಹ್ಮ್. ಮಂಜು ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಸರ್? ಹ್ಮ್. Request, response, status code, HTTP client, protocol, marshalling, unmarshalling. Whenever, in the interview, if they ask you about, explain me about a web service. Okay, if you are attending a fresher interview, okay, then you will have one A4 size sheet and a pen in order to explain it. Write down this diagram, mention those payload, JSON, marshalling, unmarshalling, and 7 blocks, and no one will reject you. For very sure, 100%. Okay? But this should be by-hearted or should be understood well, how it works. There are more technical terms inside it, like how do you, validate or the files which you receive. How do you validate, the images which you have received in the response. Okay. See, now any website you take, they'll ask you to take a selfie or upload your PAN card or Aadhaar card. Now, how safe it is? That's a different question. Now, when you trust Aadhaar card and it is in the Digibox or a digital folder, then you save all those documents into it. While sending, you upload a photo and send it, right? In that case, see, this is just an example of the search. It's very simple, query parameters. But how do you send a file in the API? That no one knows. Damar. Okay. If you have really worked on the APIs, or if you have really learned in depth of the API, you will know how to send a file using Postman. You will know where it stores. You will know how it fetches from the S3 bucket. Web services, Amazon Web Services, example, or cloud services, where it stores in the cloud. Now, how do you, when you access that particular folder or a particular photo when you're requesting, how does it converts into POJO? How will you receive it in the response? Now, how do you validate in the response?
So the online students can't see this.
Why?
You share this thing.
Oh, is it? It's coming, na? I have pinged it. Correct? So those are in detail technical terms. And I have not seen any interviewer asking about how do you do with the file? What is the procedure you do with the file? But I'll teach you. Probably we don't have the AWS account, but I'll teach you how to upload a file and how do you validate a file. Okay. I'll show you one S3 bucket which we used it, where it stores. Okay, na? We will learn that in detail again in the Postman. So this is fine, no issues. Now the nodes which are remaining is URI, URL, correct? Which you already know it. Right? What is an URL? What is an URI? What is a payload? Okay, those things. We'll continue it tomorrow. Then on the 5th day, that is tomorrow is Thursday, Friday. Thursday we will finish all the remaining notes and other things, other small chota topics. Okay. The next on the Friday, we will download Postman, we will install Postman, we will use dummy APIs to send the request and to get the response. The next topic would be, after that, the next topic would be the different sections of the Postman. Okay, the different features of Postman. How do you actually test it? I'll show you the SRS document of a particular website or a particular application, how do you get to the, you would have known SRS document, right? The functional system requirement specification, that is like the entire procedure will be there. Open this, click this, you will receive this. That is your SRS. The similar kind of thing will be available for API. That is API documentation. I'll show you that, we will read that, we will do it. So that's your base requirement, this is your practical. Okay, then inside Postman, how do you execute it, how do you validate it, how do you put authorization, those things. Okay, so from Friday, please do not miss the classes. New Year party, you can postpone. Once you get a job and a salary, then do New Year party. Okay, is that fine? Please do not miss the classes.